Come on. All right, all right, all right. The essential importance of our God-given right of freedom of speech. It's essential. It's the cornerstone of these United States of America. Is it important? Is the freedom of speech important to us? The right to it? Of course. Come on in. I'm Hiking Druid. Come on in. The water is great. The truth is expanding, and you are most welcome. Come on in, brothers and sisters. Let's talk about this. We're seeing more and more of these corruption eruptions in the government, states, federal, around the world, in the movies, in Hollywood, in the election foolishness, all the immoral activities in our schools, in our churches, in our banking systems. It's all collapsing around us because it's not following the freedom of speech that is guaranteed in the Constitution of these United States of America. And as more of us are continuing to awaken to the truth, which sets us free, we need to be free to report what we learn to help enlighten all our brothers and sisters across the earth. That is why our amazingly wise, patriotic ancestors, sometimes referred to as the Founding Fathers, or the people that wrote the Declaration of Independence and decided the Constitution of these United States of America. And that's why they laid it out in the very first amendment to the Constitution of these United States. They realized that some of the things were going to have to be further discussed, and as they were over the years after the Revolutionary War. And so let me just tell you how important it is that we should be able to report to one another. It's in the First Amendment, the right to speak about the God who we love and who loves us so much. It's in the very First Amendment as well. And the freedom of speech is in the First Amendment. So I would think that if these amazing, wise ancestors of ours deemed it important enough to put it in the very First Amendment, they really wanted to make sure that we paid attention to it. I mean, isn't that sort of logical? You know, it's very logical. So here it is. Congress, in other words, our government, shall make no law. Some laws? No. No laws respecting an establishment of religion. So the government can't have everyone has to worship this church, that church, or everyone has to be atheist, or everyone has to be communist and not believe in God. They can't do it, okay? Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So you can't tell me I can't worship God, and you can't tell me that we can't sing songs of love to Christ at Christmas in the public square. You can't do that because it's my choice. And if I don't want to, I go somewhere else. It's also my choice. If I don't like what I'm hearing, I can go somewhere else. But you can't teach immorality to my children against my will, okay? Because that's freedom of speech. Let's continue. So they can't prohibit the free exercise thereof or abridge the freedom of speech. So you can't stop me from speaking the truth. You can't censor me. If you do, you're going against our Constitution. And if you're in government, you swore to uphold it, that makes you a traitor, punishable by death, usually hanging. So the you can't mess with the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So you have to hear, if we think that you've gone against the Constitution, you have to listen to us because you are, as a government person that was voted into office, if indeed you were voted in legally, then you are our representative and you are expected to uphold the law. And you cannot make any law that would affect our freedoms there. And just for the sake of argument, as you see some of these social media outfits that were actually kicking people off for speaking the truth. See, they broke laws. They broke the Constitution, and that's traitorous. They're not in government, but the government looked the other way. And actually, some in the government encouraged this very unconstitutional, anti-freedom activity of censoring thoughts and making up pretend fact-checking people that actually were very politically leaning, as we're seeing. Some of the social media foolishness has becoming more and more seen in the public, and so many different places opened up that have free speech, that don't censor you, that allow for differences of opinions. Okay, you have to have a conversation to see how other people see things. It doesn't automatically make them wrong if they don't agree with you. But what you can't do as a government official, now, we also need to realize that a lot of these people that say they're in the government were never elected by us. That is part of the system that's collapsing, because you can't assure freedom of speech if you have a bunch of appointed bureaucrats that don't have to defend the Constitution and our freedom. They are actually more likely to raise their budgets, and their whole existence is to keep their particular unelected group, say EPA, or just throw out any of those bureaucracy groups, WHO, IRS, lots of those three-letter ones, right? You get in the picture? They're not elected, and they want to perpetuate their own three-letter agency. Okay, So that's why they are so corrupt, and that's why they don't believe in freedom of speech, and that's why they need to go away. And they will, because the lie can't continue when the light of free speech shines upon them. Whenever even the smallest light goes into a dark place, darkness is vanquished, banished, gone, bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. But you can't operate in corruptness. And what is corrupt is rotten, is not of God. So it can't exist. The more goodly, godly we are, the less it can hide. So keep speaking the truth, keep deepening your discernment, keep building your relationship with our Heavenly Papa and Holy Spirit so you can discern better and more deeply and strongly with wisdom and kindness and patience and love. We will continue to grow free and more free. And that comes with responsibility. Your freedom is not freedom from responsibility. We just had a big election. Only half the population on a good election votes. And so you will have about 3/4, sometimes that would be very good, register to vote, and only half of them vote. So in off-year elections, it's even less than half the citizens who vote. So on the other hand, if you do vote, you are actually speaking for, 2, 3, 4 other people who are too lazy to do it or disgusted by it, which is part of the system's rottenness, so that it makes people disgusted to even try. If you think that it's as we realize just how long and how fake it's been, it could get disheartening, and yet you need to take that responsibility for our society in order to keep the freedom of speech, in order to keep the right to bear arms. And that's another one that they're not supposed to touch. And yet they continually pass laws that weaken the right to free speech, the right to defend yourself. They keep doing this stuff that's tearing slowly apart the freedom, and it's been designed that way. You can go back 100 years and see the plans for the ruination of the family unit, of the destruction of our school systems, the infiltration. It was spoken about in the early 1900s, even the late 1800s. So they infiltrated the colleges so they could start brainwashing the teachers who come out and teach in the schools, in the high schools. And then, of course, where do most of the union people come from? Those brainwashing institutions. So if you have freedom of speech and you have a strong moral compass, you can share this with others if you have freedom of press. See, freedom of press implies that we report to one another, not just the 6 people who own the world's mainstream media, But the but the but the little fellas that are trying to report to others, they can't be squelched, they can't be quieted, they can't be censored, and they can't be deplatformed for having an opinion differing from the people who own it. Okay, just for having a different opinion, that goes against the Constitution. So they shouldn't even be doing business in the United States if they're working to dismantle our Constitution of these United States. Okay, so is the freedom of speech important? It's essential. It's the bedrock that the entire government is built on. So that's why they want to get rid of it, right? That's why they want to make it a joke. But it isn't a joke, is it? And we are going to keep waking people up to become more alert. It's an amazing time to be alive. Just keep contacting your brothers and sisters who are also alert and aware and ripping the veil. They've mesmerized us from most of our lives with layers of lies and foolishness. And so it's like a maze to get to the truth. And so we have to be patient as people are. Look, you can look around and you can realize something is screwy, right? Something is not right out here out there in the world. And so what is it? And you need to figure that out. That's why you need your discernment. You need to have a strong moral compass, which comes from developing a relationship with God and other people who are goodly godly and seeking truth and awareness and understand what loving kindness is. And you can see these traits in the people: patience, service to others, love, strength, boldness to speak about God, yes, even in public, and to defend the right to be free with responsibility, through responsibility. Not just if your definition of freedom is just doing whatever you want and no one can say anything about it, that's not freedom. That's chaos. And you will soon have no government. And it will be like gangs, just gangs, because there's always somebody in the basic human condition. Someone will be stronger than the others. Someone will be the leader. Okay, we are going to another place on that, and that's going to take some time. But get ready. There's a big flip, the Esther flip, and the exposing of the rotten, evil little liars and the minions. It's coming faster and faster. And it is getting some people confused, some people getting upset because everything is going to change. And that's good because we were becoming slaves, if not slaves already. So it's my freedom of speech to say, and because I know this can be a lot better and will be a lot better, and God says it's going to be a lot better. It's in the Word, okay? So I wrote something about that just this morning. Politics and parties come and go. The living Word lasts for eternity. And a couple days ago, I wrote this down, and righteousness is staying right with Papa, following his law and walking the path of his way, right? That's what righteousness is. Of course, they're twisting it all around. Lawlessness is more than just breaking his laws. It's living in rebellion to truth and reality as though no law exists. And that is chaos. That's what the enemy wants. Because then it's like divide and conquer, divide and conquer. That's what one of the biggest tricks that they have. Now, if you want to see where I got this idea from, in the Bible, 1 John, verse 3, chapter 3, verses 1 to 8 or 9, in that area. We must take the words back from the twisted little liars and their fooled minions. And we are taking the words back. And the symbols that they idolize and worship are actually, for the most part, they belong to the realm of goodly, godly love. And we're taking those back too. And we're actually using them against the liars. That's left them very, very angry. And that's good, because when the enemy of love gets angry, we're doing something right. Okay? They know their time is over. They lost. We won. Okay? Freedom of speech will not be lost because it is a law that is granted, that's given to us. It's a natural law. It's given to us by God. Okay? They will not take it away. The only way they can get it is if we give it up. And there's too many of us who are goodly, godly, who are warriors of the light, who love, who are bold in Jesus. And we love God. And we aren't giving an inch away to the dark ones, to the evil little liars. Sorry, we've seen through all your lies. All the corruption is coming out. You can't do what you were doing to our kids anymore. And you have to spread the word about the freedom of speech. So I kindly ask you, make sure you like this, subscribe, share this video, share it. Get the light of God's love out there. Help people understand how important their gift from above, their freedom of speech is. So I hope that answers some of the questions about why that would be so important, and how important it is that the freedom of speech that we are granted by God will never be taken away by fake politicians in their fake systems, in their promises that they don't ever keep. And we, the ones who are here to see it right now, get to redesign all these faux systems as we share the truth with one another. So, brothers and sisters, be loving. This is just the beginning, and it's great. We're so blessed to be alive right now. The Creator of all things says you are beautiful and wondrously made. And I say thank you very much. And also check out the link below. It's my newsletter you can get for free, and a free and a free guide to how you can use some herbs that for a lot of us grow naturally right out in the wilderness. Um, to strengthen your immune system for these trying times that we are winning and traveling through. So God bless you. Be strong, be loving, be wise in order to do battle with the liars. And it's 9/10 spiritual. So you need to practice your prayer, practice your meditation, and realize how powerful you are. You beautiful God spark, you. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. Do good deeds. Give great thanks. Love you. Talk soon. Bye.